Hello hackers, welcome back. This is RogueSMG and today we'll be talking to Rohan who goes by the name of base_64. He is just 19 years old, but even at such a young age, he has almost 7,000 reputation on HackerOne. That's crazy, right? So let's see what he has to say. But unfortunately, for some reason, we were not able to get him on video, and thus this will just be sort of a podcast itself. But anyways, there's a lot to learn from him. So open up your brain, grab your notes, and let's welcome him. So hello Rohan, thank you so much for being here and giving us your time and joining here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Sure, man. So tell us something about yourself for people who don't know you.
Yeah, sure. I'm Rohan, aka base_64 at HackerOne. I'm 19 years old and currently in college. Right now, I'm doing bug hunting full time. I've been doing bug hunting for around 3 years now. For now, I'm in top 150 hackers on HackerOne, and I'm aiming to be in top 100 by the end of this year. Yeah, so that's it.
That's awesome, man. Like you started from around 16, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct.
That's quite good. I mean, I maybe a lot of people who are actually trying to figure out what to do with life. You already started hacking.
Yeah, it's little bit about luck. I was lucky. I was lucky enough to find about bug hunting at an early age, and I really stick with it. I mean, when you are young, you don't really give much time to stick with something or like your hobbies.
So how did you get started into maybe infosec or bug bounties?
Um, well, I always had interest in computers and websites and programming and other stuff. But I got introduced to bug
Mhm.
hunting through a news channel. They were showing news
Oh,
about Pakistani hacker uh, who found bugs in big companies like Google and Microsoft and how they got paid. Um, from there, I started searching about bug hunting and came to know about platforms like HackerOne and BugCrowd. So I registered myself on those both platforms and start reading about bug reports, and that's how I got started in it.
but why do you do bug bounties? So is it like for the monetary purpose or you like hacking? How does it go?
Um, well, when I started, I mean, at the age of 16,
Yes,
money
right.
was a necessity for me. So I started purely on because of my passion about computers. But now I would say when I started earning money from it, now it's 50% passion and 50%
Right.
for monetary purposes.
Now, I mean, as long as you are maybe enjoying what you are doing, I guess that should work fine, even if you consider the money aspect.
Yeah, money is good. I mean, you can't drive yourself on purely on passion. You are getting something
Right,
from
right.
it, like it's money.
That's quite true, man. That's quite true. And are you like a one program
Yeah,
hacker or you prefer to hunt on multiple programs at once? How do you hunt?
I would say I'm one program hacker. I mean, if I found a program to my liking and found some bugs on it, then I would keep hunting on it from time to time. I keep looking for updates and new features. I usually what I do is I subscribe few
Okay.
newsletters of the websites, so I keep getting updates whenever they uh,
Right.
release new features or changes. So I keep looking at them. I mean, if I'm in top three in that program, then I keep looking at it to not lose my place in the
Yeah, I mean
reputation
that's
table.
quite a nice approach to it. You subscribing to the newsletter, so you'll probably know when there is a change or when there is an update in the website, and preferably before
Yeah,
a lot of people which are hacking on the same program, because not everyone would have done the same thing, right?
yeah. I mean, we are uh, getting invites every day new programs. So most of the people don't stick with one program; they keep changing mostly. So sticking with one program is really a good approach if you like the scope of
Right.
that
Yeah, I
program.
agree. I agree on that. Like, as long as you are sticking to a single program, bugs will eventually
Yeah,
start to pop.
yeah. I mean, I really get comfortable with programs. I mean, I knew about them, every feature, and how the system works. Then I just don't leave it. Like after a month or not, I will keep poking it.
That's nice. And do you specifically hunt on HackerOne or do you hunt on other platforms as well?
I mostly hack on HackerOne because I really like this platform because of transparency and unique features they have. Like um, recently, they introduced a new
Okay.
feature, retesting feature. So what you can do is in that feature is that you can also claim retest for other hackers reports who missed the retest. So there is a big opportunity to learn by trying to reproduce the
Right.
reports of other hackers. And and I found my first valid bug on HackerOne. So it's a
Yes, yes, yes.
relationship like a
I understand. Like I always think that it doesn't matter that much. Whatever platform you're trying to hunt on, it's just your personal relationship of a hacker from on a particular platform. I would say, and that is how they get attached.
yeah. Just get comfortable with the platform and
Right.
it
Yeah.
doesn't
So
matter much.
also in a short term, for example, let's say in a span of 3 to 7 days, you're trying to hunt on a website and you are not finding any bug. So how long do you stick to the program before moving on?
Well, if, it really depends what type of
Okay.
program I'm hacking on. I mean, if I found a program, if I found a program with a good scope, which has a lot of functionalities, even if I don't find bugs in 2 or 3 days, I would
Right.
at least give it a week if it has a good functionalities. But if it doesn't have any good scope, like it has a static websites and but doesn't have any features, then I would just hardly give it a day or I
Right.
just leave it
So you
instantly.
you like to fiddle around websites having more scope and more features, I would say.
Yeah, more features. Most I don't do uh, wide recon scope hacking. I mostly
Okay, so yeah, this was the follow-up question I was about to come at. Like, do you prefer manual or wide
uh,
scope? I mean, recon types of bugs. So yeah, I think we have the answer to that. So
yeah
but along with that, do you have any
yeah
automation or do you prefer to go manually or how is it like?
no I prefer manual hacking. I mostly hunt with just burp suit. I use tools for sometimes for finding some
Okay,
JS links or URLs or parameters or sometimes subdomains if it has a wide scope but with a lot of functionalities, then I do subdomain enumeration. Then that I
okay. So you
use
you just
tools.
use the basic kind of tools and prefer to go everything manually.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
Burp Suite has everything you need, all the tools and all the sub enumeration and all features. It has all the add-ons, so there is no need for me to use
Right.
anything else.
Yeah, that's a very good thing you just came up with. Like Burp has quite a lot of features. There are so many things in Burp and even so many add-ons you can have. But people generally, I guess, overlook those or do not appreciate what actually is going on there. Most of the people I've come across usually use it for repeater itself, and they don't do much with Burp Suite.
Yeah, most of the people only use a repeater and intruder. I mean, there is a fiddler as well.
Right.
I mean, you can use fiddler as well, but Burp Suite has a lot of features. I mean, if you um, if you're able to utilize it completely, it has a lot of potential to get you a good bugs. And if you are talking about a wide wide scope recon bugs, in that way you have to be fast. I mean, everybody is using
Right.
same tools and same techniques. If you want to find a bug in that way, then you have to be fast or you have to create your own techniques.
Even I tend to get a lot of questions like I'm stuck with not finding a bug, or even if they're finding the bugs, I'm only finding duplicates and informative and NAs. And usually almost of 90% of those people, most of the bugs are like maybe nuclei bugs, or they just did some fuzzing, directory search, something like that. So I mean, I usually
Yeah,
tell everyone that imagine how many people would have been doing the same thing, right? What different are you doing? So this is obviously something very
yeah,
very common. I mean, even when you are writing the report, I think you should consider that this most probably will be a dupe bug, and you should not expect anything of that.
yeah. I always do that. I don't expect anything from a report. I mean, anything could be a dupe, and I mean, big hackers
Yeah,
are running VPS with tools 24/7. So there is no way you can win against them. So you have to, so you have to do something unique to stay in this field for now because it's getting really competitive right now.
true, true. I mean, that's quite true. A lot of new hunters are
Yeah,
joining every day in this community and this
yeah,
field, and a lot of them are quite good as well. A lot of people, like including you at a very young age. I mean, you guys, people might not be knowing a lot of such people, but there are quite a few hunters which are doing extremely well in maybe a very short period of time or at a very early age. That's quite,
yeah,
it's astonishing to see, man.
yeah. Sometimes luck plays a big,
Yes,
big role in your life.
definitely. I mean, but all the luck and everything is
Yeah,
indirectly dependent upon the amount of hours and the hard work you put in, right?
yeah. I mean, you need luck as well as you have to be persistent as well to be stick with one thing you want to do. I mean, if you keep changing your fields or ways to do bug hunting, then you won't be able to hold much longer.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, a lot of people think that this is something where they will find a quick buck and they will be a millionaire over a month or so, and yeah, that's how it will be. But it's very different from that. The reality is quite
Yeah,
different from that.
yeah. Reality is always different.
So I mean, what's your favorite bug type? And what's your the most interesting bug you have found? Maybe it was a chain of a few bugs, or was it some direct bug? How was it?
Uh, my favorite bug type would be IDOR, simply because it's really easy to find and most of the time it has a high impact on applications. I mean, I found a lot of IDRs which are really easy. I mean, just you have to just change the IDs, but it leads to account takeovers. So it's really my favorite bug type. And now for the second question, so my most interesting bug would be a local file inclusion bug, which I
Okay,
found recently. The application has a function which allows user to download the current page as PDF file.
right.
So to do that, application send a GET request with URL param and its value is the source of the current page. So in the back end, the application is actually fetching the current page in HTML format and converts it into PDF format. So I try to put an arbitrary URL as URL param value and it actually fetched me the response in PDF file. So next thing I did was to host a
Okay,
HTML script with iframe tag and put etc password file as the source. So I set the URL param value to that
okay.
script which I was hosting on my domain and then application ran that script on their system and got me the password file as PDF.
That's actually quite interesting, man. I mean, whenever such things are happening, I think a lot of people will just give up after trying maybe a single thing or just looking at it. But
Yeah,
this is something very unique, and I think you there is a
I
lot
mean,
of possibilities in such features.
yeah, I mean, I found this bug in a program where 150 reports were resolved, and it was on a
Okay,
main page. I mean, it was I mean, most of the people, yeah, I mean, most of the people wouldn't thought about hosting their own script. I mean, they thought it's just sending a request to their host and it isn't showing any results. So you have to think out of the box to find something.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, yeah, perspective plays a very important role here. I mean, uh, maybe if you just thought that a lot of people have already looked at it and I won't find anything on the main page, then you might not have even tried it, right?
Yeah, you are right about that.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I think
everybody have different perspective. I mean, uh,
exactly,
I found a different bug on the same endpoint from an other hacker. I mean, other hacker just missed a one parameter,
right.
and I found a different bug from him with a lot more impact.
Yeah, right. Perspective plays a very important role. Each and every hacker has a unique set of eyes and a unique thought process, which is specific
Yeah,
just to them. So I think
yeah,
there's a scope of scope to find bugs for each and everyone out there.
yeah.
So do you hunt only for a specific set of vulnerabilities like maybe broken access or IDOS, or you try to look for everything at once? What do you do?
Well, it actually depends on a site. I mean, if the site has different user roles, then I would mostly look out for access control issues and IDRs.
Okay,
But if the site handles sensitive information, then I would look for information disclosure bugs. So it mostly depends on what type of site it is. I mean,
okay,
I would never look for uh, like if the site uh, doesn't have any, if the site isn't using any template, then I would not look for template injection. It would be a
right,
waste of time. So
right,
you have
right.
to So you have to map the site, what type of site it is, and according to that, you have to proceed to hunt on it.
Right, that's quite straightforward approach.
Looking for everything at once isn't a good approach. I mean, it's it's really a bad approach, and you will be disappointed when you don't find anything.
True. So I mean, what's your approach? This is a question I like to ask a lot of people, but I haven't find a consistent answer because I don't think there is one. But how do you try to look for server side bugs? What is your approach to find server side bugs? Is it based purely on intuition and experience, or do you just try to spray and pray everywhere? How does it go?
It really depends on your luck, I would say. I mean, most of the times I would look for uh, the parameters. I would say I use tool like uh, Go. Yeah, Go
Right.
tool it GAU. I mean, I
Yes.
use
Yes.
it to find parameters,
Okay.
and if I see any parameter which is using URL as a value, then I would to uh, try to look for SSR at that, and
Right.
it's sometimes it's just pure luck that you stumble upon an SSR.
Yeah, that's quite true. So I mean, yeah, it I guess a luck and experience are the two things
Yeah,
which plays a very important role there.
yeah. From experience, um, you will came to know where to look for SSRF. It just depends on experience.
Right. Okay, agreed. And what's something unique? Like you have started at a very young age, right? And most of the people, including me, at 16, I didn't have any idea about life. Like what I am doing, what the hell am I even doing here? I had no idea about that. I was just busy playing and maybe just roaming around. So what's that something unique which you have, which you think you have, which enables you to maybe consistently find bugs or do something that you are maybe passionate about?
I would say I'm really persistent. I mean, anything I start, I stick with it to the end,
Right.
and that's something I guess I have something unique. Never giving up attitude is really important in this field or any other field, and generally in life, it's really an important thing to not give up.
Exactly. Yeah. I totally agree with that one. The more the persistent you are, the more easier it will be, and you will
Yeah,
find not only bugs but everything in life will be quite easier that way.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's
You are
no
right.
shortcut for hard work, right?
Yeah, you are right. There isn't any shortcut. I tried it. I mean, I failed many times when I tried to do something like taking shortcuts. When I started hunting, I thought I would just need to read some books and that would be it. I would be able to find bugs, but that
Right.
wasn't like that.
Right. Yeah, so that's a hard truth in this field.
Yeah,
So can you describe how is a usual Wednesday in your life? And this is something which I also use like to ask people, like how does a normal Wednesday look in your life?
I mean, it's really difficult to describe a usual Wednesday. I really have an inconsistent routine and sleep schedule. So, I mean, I can't really describe it.
So
If
so are
I,
you a night hunter or a day hunter?
I mean, I can't say. I mean, sometimes I hunt in morning and sometimes at night.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whenever you are motivated and feel like hunting, you
yeah,
just fire up your laptop and start.
yeah, and it could be at any time.
that's that's quite unique approach, I would say.
I would say bad approach.
Yeah, yeah, but as long as it's working for you, I mean that's fine. That's more than fine.
Yeah, most of the time it works.
So the follow-up question I was going to ask was about your time management and how often do you hunt? But I guess we already have an answer to that as well.
Yeah, my time management is really, really bad.
So how
I mean,
often do you hunt? For example, in a week, what on an average, how many hours would you be hunting in a week?
um, I would say on average on a day would be 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
Weekly would be 30 plus hours, I guess.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, I like to do other hobbies as well. Like I like to learn different languages, and I like art, and I also play sports. So that's why I always give less time to hacking, like 3 or 4 hours in a day.
Right. So that's quite nice. Again, so you apart from the technical stuff, you like to play, games and learn different languages. You have quite
Yeah,
a few hobbies. So do you think that
yeah,
those things help you to avoid burnouts or help you dealing with burnouts?
yeah. It really do. I mean, uh, having hobbies really plays an important part to avoid burnouts. Um, and, and talking about burnouts, I guess in our countries like India and Pakistan, people really don't give a damn about their mental health.
That's a pretty precise way to put it out there.
Yeah, they just think they just need a little bit of sleep and all the stress will go away.
Right.
So that's really not a good approach. And I'm really happy nowadays everybody is talking about mental health, like even the big platforms like HackerOne and Bug. Um, when I started out, there was nothing about. No one is talking about uh, burnouts and other things
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
like stress and anxiety. And so awareness is really important to avoid burnouts. I mean, when I started out, I didn't know about anything about burnouts. So when I faced the burnouts, I really didn't know what was really happening to me. I just suddenly lose the motivation to do anything.
Right.
So when I start using PC, I just lose the concentration and just waste my time going back and forth from Twitter to YouTube and doing nothing. So lack of awareness is really bad. Um, and so all the hackers who are starting out, I would say you have to be concerned about your mental health. Uh, Sound mind and healthy body really helps you in going ahead in any field.
Right, definitely. I definitely agree on this point as well. Like a lot of people just neglect, especially in countries like ours. People
Yeah,
just neglect their mental health overall. And most contributing factor to this is the unrealistic expectations they put upon themselves. Like even if
yeah,
someone is starting out, they put an expectation on them of maybe earning $5,000 or $10,000 per month. That's not a realistic or a good approach, I would say.
yeah. Expectations leads to burnouts. I mean, you expect too much from yourself.
Exactly. I mean, the expectation could be more in a positive way. Maybe you should say something like, I'll try to find $4 to $5 this month, or I'll try to find at least a single. Maybe if you are trying to learn for SSRF, I'll try to find an at least 2 to 3 SSRF bugs this month. I think that is quite an a realistic approach. That way you will be learning new stuff as well, and you won't have to be dealing with burnouts because you actually put up a realistic and obvious goal and not
Yeah,
something way out of the box.
yeah. You are right about that.
And moving on, what do you wish you knew when you first started out with bug hunting, and what are some guidelines that you'd like to give to people struggling with bug bounties?
Um, when I started, I wish I would have known how important practical knowledge is in this field. Uh, Practical knowledge is really important. I mean, I wasted a lot of time just reading books and blogs, copying payloads, and not actually trying to practice those things on demo applications. So I just want to say, if you want to be good in this field, you have to practice, keep practicing, and I'm sure you will learn a lot from it. Don't just read.
Right. When you started out, maybe there were not a lot of resources, but nowadays there are so many labs, Portugal labs and Pentester labs and everything which is out there. I think that is something insanely helpful, which people do not realize soon.
Yeah, I mean, they can do labs on Burbsuit Web Academy. I mean, it has a lot of good content.
Right.
I mean, HackerOne and Bugcrowd, they are also contributing in in education of hackers, and it's really a best time to learn nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are so many resources out there. It's just on you how much you are able and willing to, grasp the information which is out there. It's all on you.
Yeah.
And what impact has bug bounties have had on your life? And both positive and negative.
Uh, Bug bounties really have a big positive impact on my life. I mean, there isn't any big achievement than making yourself proud and your parents. And when I finally made into the bug bounty, when I found my first relic bug, I finally stopped doubting myself, and it really helps financially. I mean, who wouldn't like having their own money?
Right,
You
right, of
don't
course.
you don't need to ask money for to your parents. You can give yourself pocket money.
Definitely. I mean, that's quite a huge deal in countries like ours, in Asian countries especially.
Yeah, most of the guys are just wanting to make their parents proud. You want them to acknowledge them that they are doing something good in their life.
Definitely, man. Yes, and someone like you may be starting this early in life and doing actually this good. I mean, I guess you have around 7,000 reputation on your hacker one, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's 6,500.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
even though that's quite a huge feat with
yeah,
someone so young and in such a short time span. So that is indeed quite an amazing feel. And yeah, of course, the monetary thing, along with the mental satisfaction and making
yeah,
your parents proud and everything, everyone who has doubted you, you are essentially proving them wrong. So of course, that is an amazing feeling, I would say.
yeah. And beside a positive impact, there is also a negative impact of Bug Bounties as well. I mean, it really turned me into a introvert, as I told you before.
Right,
Uh,
right.
I mean, I just always at home 24/7. I stopped meeting my friends, going out. Uh, my family just keep telling me go out, meet with your friends, and I just can't step out of my house.
All right, and
And
along with that, I maybe Corona contributed to that as
yeah,
well.
yeah, that as well. I mean, lockdown and not going to college.
A pretty tough situation out there, but at least, yeah, in a way, at least you are making good use of your time, and where some people are just maybe chilling or just anxious, you are actually trying to do something, and maybe not that great in your own sense, but you are still doing pretty good, I'd say. So that's quite
Yeah.
something which a lot of people should learn from you and people like you out there.
By the way, I do chill a lot. I mean, I spend a lot of time watching anime and reading mangas. I do chill a lot.
That's nice. It should not feel like a burden, it should not feel like you have to work. It should not feel like the Monday morning feeling.
Yeah, as I said, money isn't a necessity for me, and so it's really not a burden for me. I just love hacking, and that's why I'm doing it.
That's great, exactly my point. And I must say, if you don't realize it by now, let me just put it out there that you are better than quite a lot of people out there. But you prefer to stay much low key, or as you said, just being an introvert. So what's
Yeah.
your approach to life? I mean, how do you approach life in general?
Uh, well, as you said, I mean, I am ahead of some people, and it's just how life works. Some people would be ahead of you, and you would be ahead of some people. I mean, that's how it is. Uh, I just don't try to stress myself about how many people are better than me. Um, but I do used to compete with other hackers, like going to HackerOne leaderboard, seeing other hackers ahead of me, and trying to compete with them. I mean, that was really a bad approach. I mean, sometimes it does work, it does motivates me, but now I just stop doing it.
Right,
Competitive nature sometimes really leads to self doubt. You just keep improving yourself, and in that process, you will leave others behind as well. The only competition that matters the most in life, I mean, is the one between you and your old self. So,
right.
so just keep improving yourself. That's the best approach to life, and just stay humble.
Right. I mean, that's quite, quite an amazing approach. And yeah, that's something which I personally follow as well. That there's no point comparing yourself to others, right? I mean, everyone has a different life. Everyone have their own struggles. Everyone have their way of coping up with things.
Everybody has different hurdles and problems. Everybody is walking different paths. So you just can't compare yourself to others.
Exactly my point. So yeah, I guess the only thing that matters is you are doing better than you were doing yesterday, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
That's amazing. And thank you so much again, Rohan, for being here. It was wonderful talking to you. At a very young age, you are doing quite amazing. And the way you approach life is also something that everyone should, should at least know or try to have that kind of mindset. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and giving out your time to us and being here.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.